unto death. Prepare thyself to stand at the judgment bar.
The man had hung up. There had been no argument, no mercy offered. She had been sealed unto death. Only the manner of that death remained in doubt. How had they known what she planned to do? Had they watched her? Had they followed her?
Amanda!
She started in her chair, realized that the other women were staring. She stared back, open-mouthed. Were her thoughts so transparent? A bead of sweat crawled down the small of her back.
It's your turn to read,
said Charity, frowning at the open book in Amanda's lap. Oh. Amanda dropped her eyes to the page, but had no idea which verse they were on. She scanned the page furiously, trying to recall the last word spoken.
It's the next page,
Fernie whispered. Verse 17. Charity's frown deepened, her lips thin. She said nothing, but she'd doubtless have plenty to say to Elder Kimball when he next visited her room. Upstairs, Amanda sat at her desk and pulled a sheet of paper from the drawer. She had to believe that Fernie was still true to her. She thought for a moment, then began to write. Fernie, if you read this, then I'm already dead. My blood has atoned for my sins. Dear God, why am I so alone? I don't know where to turn. I will tell the prophet, but maybe he already knows. That is what they say. You are my cousin, my sister-wife, and my friend. And you are a good woman. Maybe I'm making a mistake. Maybe someday we'll laugh about this together. But if you discover this letter in your dresser and something has happened to me, you will know why I died and by whose hand. First, go to my room and get the manila envelope under my mattress. It will help you understand the rest of this letter. She paused. What do I say next? How do I explain this? She put pen back to paper 3 times, but always lifted it again, her mind a blank. Finally, she gave up. She folded the half-completed note and tucked it into her Book of Mormon. Perhaps it was better this way. Better not to draw Fernie into this mire. Maybe this stupor of thought was Heavenly Father's way of stopping Amanda from making a grave mistake. Yes, that was it. That was surely it. Amanda went to bed fully dressed. She lay in bed with her eyes open as the house settled in for the night. Little voices hushed, and then women went to bed one by one. Creaks diminished, then ceased. Soon, all that remained was the occasional cough. Amanda listened to Sophie Marie's soft, slow breaths as she tried to calm her own racing heart. When she could wait no more, Amanda slipped out of bed. She reached between the mattress and pulled out a manila envelope. She opened it to make sure she had the right one, and not the second envelope that she'd meant Fernie to find. Yes, this was it. Inside was her evidence, together with a wad of bills stolen from her husband. Her plan was to leave town and head west until she reached the highway. From there, she'd hitchhike to Cedar City, and then catch a bus to Salt Lake City, or south toward Las Vegas. But she had one stop to make before she left town. She had to see the prophet. She had to believe he didn't know. He couldn't. Amanda gathered Sophie Marie. The girl did not stir, but lay in her mother's arms, leaden and limp. Only her deep and regular breathing betrayed life. She would make no noise as they fled. The floorboards in the hallway groaned underfoot. Amanda tried at first to take slower steps, but this only prolonged the anxiety. So at last, she clenched her jaw and hurried down the stairs, which creaked a warning to anyone who might be listening. She let out her breath when she reached the living room and saw that it was empty. She made her way straight for the front door. In a moment, she was outside, down the driveway, and into the street. The pavement radiated heat underfoot, even as the desert air cooled rapidly. A breeze came from the ghost cliffs to the north, bringing with it the smell of sand and sage. Houses, each a multi-winged compound designed to hold several wives and their children, stood like dark and silent sentinels along the street. There were no cars on the road, and only the rare streetlight to puncture the darkness. Outside the cone of lights, the stars glittered overhead. She'd spent a year at the church's Harmony, Alberta settlement as a child, but had lived the rest of her life here in Blister Creek.